What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Manchester United in action. This time we're in the FA Cup 5th round for a place in the quarterfinals. We're up against Fulham at Old Trafford. It's a 4:30 p.m. kickoff tomorrow and manager is Marco Silva. And Marco Silva has been managing Fulham since the 1st of July 2021 and he's managed them for 171 games, 77 wins, 39 draws and 55 losses with a win percentage of 45.03%. And other teams he's managed Everton, Watford, Hull, Olympiacos, Sporting and Estoril, I think that is. And overall he's got a win percentage of 30 plus with all them other teams. But in terms of United though, we have beaten Fulham twice this season. We beat him on the opening day at Old Trafford 1-0, and then recently, I think just last month in February, we did beat them 1-0 at Craven Cottage as well, courtesy of I think it was Lisandro Martinez goal. And yeah, so we have got maximum points of Fulham in the Premier League this season. However, they are above us in the Premier League, of course. In terms of some recent form for Fulham, Fulham are coming away with a win against Wolves. They did lose to Crystal Palace before that, but they beat Nottingham Forest in the league as well. Of course, to get to the 5th round, they had to beat Wigan, and they beat Wigan Athletic 2-1 in the FA Cup, and then they also beat Newcastle away from home. And then before that, on the 26th of January, Fulham did lose to Manchester United 1-0 in the Premier League. And that was a good win for United, but of course not for Fulham, who did lose the game. In terms of Fulham, though, in terms of their recent injuries, they have got a couple of players out. Smith Rowe, Wilson, Tete and Nelson are out with injuries, so they're not going to feature. In terms of Fulham's starting 11, this is who I've gone with. I've gone with the 4-2-3-1 formation. This is how I think they're going to line up. But recently, in matches against Wolves, they have set up in a 3 at the back. So in terms of the 4-2-3-1, obviously Leno in net, Castagna, Anderson, Bassi and Robinson making up the back 4. Then Berge and Kearney as the 2 central defensive midfielders, with a front 3 of Traore, Pereira and Iwobi. In behind Muniz as the striker. So they do, in recent matches, Marco Silva has set up his team in a 3-4-2-1 like I mentioned. So I'm not sure how he's actually going to set up this game against United. Similarly, like because Manchester United are also using the 3 at the back formation, I wouldn't be surprised if Marco Silva does also go with the 3 at the back to kind of match Manchester United as well. In terms of how they play with possession, Marco Silva, he did at the start of the season set up his team in a 4-3-3. However, like I said, that has changed to a 3 at the back in recent matches. So Fulham players, they constantly rotate during the build-up, and he adopts a dynamic approach, shifting between formations to create numerical advantages. Fulham's tactical setup also relies heavily on fluid teamwork between the fullback, the winger and the number 8. He also likes using the goalkeeper during build-up. So Marco Silva, he does like his goalkeeper involved in the build-up play. Leno will often push up between the centre-backs, giving Fulham an extra man in the build-up phase. They also used counter movements between the attackers to beat the opposition's defensive line. Counter movements involve players making runs that disrupt defensive lines, drawing defenders out of position to open up spaces for teammates. And this is a core principle in Fulham's attacking strategy, allowing them to break down organised defenses and exploit gaps. So in terms of defending without possession, positioning many players centrally, creating numerical advantages in midfield creates good conditions in defensive transitions. One tool that helps them to be compact is that they do play with a high back line, making the space to the midfield line as small as possible. So Silva's players do this and usually try to keep the highest line they can without leaving the space behind them too open. So defending with a high back line involves positioning the defensive line closer to the midfield rather than near the goalkeeper. So this tactic compresses the space available for the opposing team to operate, disrupting their build-up play and increasing their chances of winning the ball back. So in terms of, to summarize, attacking wise, Fulham play with pace, intensity, but they're also willing to slow down possession as well. They focus on wide areas and crosses into the box. They create overloads by working together between the fullback, winger and the number 8. In terms of defending though, Fulham's defensive line is lower than the average high pressing team. They let the opposition come out before facing the mid block, and they limit their options to play through the midfield third. They defend as a team by setting up a compact block in the midfield, and they force the opposition to play outside and lock them in that way as well. So in terms of Fulham's star man, I'm obviously going to have to go with Alex Iwobi. He's got 7 Premier League goals and 3 assists in 27 league games, so he's going to be their star man. He's a very tricky winger, and whoever is playing, he's playing on the left, so whoever is playing on the right wing back position, most probably Mazraoui, as Dogu is out injured, they're going to have a tough time up against him. But if we can keep Traore as well on the other side, Traore, Iwobi, they're very dangerous players, very tricky wingers, and possibly maybe I would take Traore at United, I'm not sure, but they're very tricky wingers, both of them, so they have to be kept quiet as well. But yeah, in terms of Manchester United though, let's speak a little bit about United. So last match, we did win 3-2 at Old Trafford against Ipswich, which was a very good win for us. Not just because we were down to 10 men, but of course, Ipswich they're a recently promoted side. We should be picking up 3 points against Ipswich, but since we were down to 10 men especially, it was a very good win for us. But in terms of Man United team news, of course, we've got a plethora of injuries. We've got plenty of players out right now at the moment. Bayindir, Evans, Martinez, Shaw, Mainu, Mount, Collier and Diallo are all out injured, unfortunately, still. So in terms of United's starting 11, this is who I've gone with. It's basically almost the same starting 11 that I did predict for the game against Ipswich. The only change that I'm making here is that Mazraoui, Euro is coming in for Dogu. That's the change that I'm making. But of course, Euro did start last match. I didn't have Euro starting. I had Mazraoui starting ahead of Euro in that game against Ipswich. So Onan Renette, of course, De Ligt, Maguire, Euro making up the back three. Mazraoui and that right wing back position, Ugarte, Fernandez making up that double pivot in midfield, and then Dalot at left wing back, simply because Dogu is out injured. Xerxes and Garnacho making up them 2 inside 10 positions, then Højlund up front. And in terms of Højlund, I've not been very impressed by him lately. I think he needs to be doing a lot more. Not just Højlund, Xerxes as well, not been too impressed by him. However, Garnacho, I have been slightly impressed by him in recent matches. He has come on and he's changed the game against Ipswich, it has to be said. It wasn't a very, very, very big impact, but he did make an impact when he did come off the bench. So I've been slightly more impressed by Garnacho in the previous matches than Højlund and Xerxes. But Højlund and Xerxes need to step up, in my opinion. If they don't, then I don't think they're necessarily Manchester United quality strikers, and we need to be, going out into the transfer market and getting actual strikers that are, that are Man United quality. I don't think they are Man United quality. I don't think, we're going to be challenging for the title with these types of players. So I'm not sure anyway. Maybe they can turn it around. I don't know. But that's my starting 11 for United. Star man for me, of course, it's going to be Bruno Fernandes, especially because we have Amad Diallo out injured. Bruno has been stepping up recently, and he's definitely stepped up against Ipswich and in previous Premier League games. I can't remember who we were up against, but he has played a part since Amad Diallo has, been injured. So Bruno Fernandes is going to be my star man. So he of course creates the most chances for Man United, and Man United rely mostly on him for chance creation as well. So whenever Bruno Fernandes performs, we are most likely to get the win. So hopefully he can step up to the plate and deliver us, get us into the next round of the FA Cup, because like I said in my previous video, this is the only kind of competition that we can win domestically. We're out of the League Cup, of course, and Premier League, obviously we're in flipping 15th or whatever, 14th, I don't know. Who knows when we're next going to win the Premier League? That remains to be seen. But Bruno Fernandes is that guy. I think he's been our best signing post Alex Ferguson. So most goals and assists, all top there in terms of since joining United, in terms of in the top five leagues in Europe. So hopefully he can keep up that good form. How do you beat Fulham? Now, of course, pace, power, strength, unpredictability on the attack, using them 3 centre backs to build up, we have when Ruben Amorim first took over. I was really impressed with how we were building out from the back. hopefully that can continue as well. Careful on the set pieces as well, and win the second balls. I think against Ipswich we were really good on that, and not just in terms of Ipswich's set pieces, but I think when we scored basically from 2 set pieces as well. So we won balls in the box, which is going to be really crucial against Fulham as well. Wing backs have to be going offensive as well. If we can get them wing backs in good crossing positions, some good link up play with Garnacho and Dalot, maybe Mazraoui and Xerxes could be fruitful as well. Of course, scoring early is going to help a lot as well. So if we can, score early, calm down the nerves a little bit in this FA Cup tie, then I think it's going to be fruitful for us. So yeah, in terms of my score prediction, I am going for a 3-0 Manchester United win. Fingers crossed, everything crossed, because I really want us to win the FA Cup and the Europa League, get some glory at the end of the season. It's been such a tough season for us. Hopefully we can win. I'm going for a 3-0 United win. Højlund, Bruno and Xerxes to get all the goals, and hopefully we do come away with the win and progress into the next round of the FA Cup. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you after the match.